So first, let's talk about tariffs. Things are kind of in flux every day. We just got news that Jameson Greer is going to be breaking the ice with the Chinese counterparts and talking about how they'll start talks. Overall, what's been your assessment about how the president has implemented his tariff policies, just across the board?
Well, I think the president is doing what he thinks is right. And he did the exact same thing back in the first Trump administration, and it works. We brought billions of dollars back into this country, and he did not get that second subsequent term, and now here he is 4 years later starting his second term. But America has been ripped off by our frenemies and our enemies for decades, and it's time that we even up the level of playing field. So I appreciate what the president is trying to do.
In the first term, they were more targeted, a bit more measured. This time, of course, has gone universal. Do you think that's going to pay off?
Yes.
Given the pain that folks are seeing right now.
Yeah, I think it's already starting to pay off. Yes, it's going to be a little pain. There's no question. And in fact, the president even warned us of it. But after decades of getting ripped off by friend and foe alike and trade imbalances, now we're gonna fix this thing. And I think at the end of this tunnel, we see light. Hopefully it's not a train. We will get out into that light, and we will have we'll have a great economy, just like the last term. We had the best economy that we had seen in 5 decades under his last presidency in his first term, and it's largely due to cutting regulation and to the tariffs.
Folks like to predict what that pain, that interim pain will look like. Some are wondering if a recession is in the cards.
I don't think so.
You don't think a recession?
No, ma'am. I don't think we're going to see a recession. I think the Democrats are trying to blow dog whistles to make it look like things are really bad, but I think things are looking a lot better. I think the numbers are coming back. We had a good month with job creation just a week or so ago. I think things are happening in a way that make it look like that the president it's panning out just like he said it was going to, and I have trust in him. Is there lack of certainty? Is there some apprehension? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. There sure is. But I think that this is going to work out just like it did in the first term.
Have you heard from small businesses in your district?
Yes, I have.
Coping? What are you hearing?
I've heard some of them are believing the rumors. Listen, I just got out of a hearing a while ago, and all we heard was that the sky was falling from the Democrats, that bad things were happening, that we're losing jobs, we're losing our place in the world. Our economy's going south. We're hurting our science and space programs, our Defense Department, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what? This is propaganda. A lot of this is just hype and politics, and I think we just need to just remain calm and just work our way through this little bit of uncertainty on the tariffs, and I think we're going to come out way ahead here because decades, I'll say it again, decades of trade imbalances, America getting ripped off, manufacturing and jobs being shipped overseas right and left at the hands of, quite frankly, mostly Democrats, but some Republican administrations as well. And that is going to stop.
Switching gears to FEMA, hurricane season just around the corner in southeast Texas. It's been hit hard, as you know, over the last few recent years. Do you think FEMA cuts could impact the ability to help your area recover from upcoming storms? Do you agree?
Do I think FEMA what now?
Cuts. Any cuts?
Oh, I got you. Well, like Christy Nome said, our new DHS secretary and my former colleague here in the House of Representatives, she said, we don't need to give a blank check to FEMA. We need to reform FEMA. And we have seen over and over again the bureaucracy and the difficulty to work with this agency. I've I'm on the Gulf Coast. And in my 6 terms serving up here, let me tell you, I've seen my share of storms. One of them was Harvey. The national North American rainfall record was there in my district and in that area. So I can tell you that we're no strangers. And I will tell you this, we want the help that is due us, but we're no strangers. This is not our first rodeo having these types of storms. We know how to take care of ourselves. So this is what good people do. They pull themselves up by their bootstraps. We help our neighbors help neighbors. And let me tell you this, when we saw that FEMA ran out of money because they spent millions and millions of dollars housing illegal aliens in the Northeast, only to wind up in a shortfall and unable to help those hurricane victims of Helene over in North Carolina and those states, it's inexcusable. So I'm absolutely of the opinion, certainly if we can reform FEMA, we want to keep that, but we have to make sure that people are getting help and that these agencies are not working against the people. Instead of helping illegal aliens, help American citizens who have been stricken by these natural disasters.
And then speaking of deportations, there's been some controversy about the president using the War Powers Act. What are your thoughts on that? He's obviously faced some setbacks in court. Do you think the president should stay the course? What do you think of it?
Absolutely, the president needs to stay the course. Never in my life have I seen an open border to the magnitude and extent that Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, and Kamala Harris created down there, especially on our southern border. But both borders were in horrible, horrible shape. Millions upon millions of unvetted illegal aliens have come across this border. We don't even know how many. We think 10, 15 million. It could be 25 for all we know. But we've seen horrendous criminal activity. Even in my district, in my region, I'm a Houston congressman. My district, absolutely, it runs from Houston all the way to the Louisiana border. I've got 8 counties in there. I was just at a ceremony renaming one of my national wildlife refuges after one of the 12-year-old victims of 2 Venezuelan gang members who murdered her in Houston, Texas. The Jocelyn Nungery Wildlife Refuge. I'm proud to have that in my district. I was out there. I was with our governor. I was with Secretary Burgum, Secretary of Interior. I was also out there with a number of other of individuals, including Jocelyn's mother, grandfather, and many of her relatives. We cannot ever allow this to happen again. Our American citizens were thrown to the wolves by the Democrat Party under Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas. In a way, it's criminal. They ought to be prosecuted for what they have done. And all of a sudden, the Trump-Vance team was elected in an overwhelming electoral college landslide because of the number one issue. The number one issue was open borders, criminal, possible terrorism, the horrible situation that we've had from an open border, lack of vetting. Quite frankly, it's so scary to think about what we're now faced with because of these open borders. And so I'm all for the president deporting these people. That's why he was elected. The American people overwhelmingly said this was their number one issue. And we still have a lot of these criminals. Listen, they have millions to go. We've only deported a few thousand now, and they are being held up by these absolute rogue judges, federal district judges, who have a small area of jurisdiction in their districts in each state, and they're one single federal judge is going to hold up an entire nationwide executive order for national security purposes by this president. It's unbelievable. I mean, if I was able to, I'm a legislator. I can't write executive orders, but if I could write an executive order, I'd say, Judge, you're out of here, man. You're vacating your bench because you are absolutely violating your oath of office to interpret the Constitution and the laws of this country. You are making law. You are trying to be a legislator. You are infringing upon the Congress's Article 1 powers. That is not what the judges in this judiciary is supposed to be doing. And so I am absolutely opposed to what these judges are doing.
Are you shocked that some are even ones that were appointed by Trump?
Well, yes, I am, and I'm very, very disappointed. In fact, I'll tell you a little secret. On the Supreme Court of the United States, I've been very disappointed at the voting record of some of Trump's appointees. He had 3 of them, which is phenomenal, and yet they have not, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I would say, upheld or rather interpreted the laws of our Constitution, and they're allowing trampling on the rights of the duties of the President of the United States for Article 2 powers. They don't have any jurisdiction over the President. They cannot make law. They cannot violate, infringe upon, or block these executive orders that are nationwide. These things need to be all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. That's where these things need to be overturned. These rogue judges need to be overturned and shown to be the charlatans that they are and not doing their jobs. So listen, I'm with President Trump 1,000%. These people need to be deported, and they need to be deported as soon and as quickly as possible, and there are millions to go. And we can't do this one at a time and have to go. If some illegal alien is being protected by a federal judge that says, oh, he's got to have his due process, we have to have due process for each one of these illegal aliens, a million or so that have already had their immigration hearings and have been ruled by these judicial immigration judges to be removed from the country. And yet he's got to go back and do it again. It makes no sense at all. It's inexcusable. And as I said, this is the biggest issue of the campaign, of the presidential campaign. And we don't need Venezuelan gang members. We don't need MS-13 gang members. We don't need the terrorists that are slipping in with the enormous crowds that came through in the 4 years of the Biden administration. I'm proud of what President Trump has been doing, Kristi Noem. I'm proud of Tom Homan, the border czar, a good friend of mine. He's doing an outstanding job, and yet here we have a bunch of libs, judges, that are tying the hands of elected officials and appointed officials that were elected and appointed to do a job, and they cannot do that job because of these judges.
Any local issues you want to touch on?
Well,
For the local station, I appreciate you touching on the national issues. That's great.
Absolutely. Of course, the number one thing that we have in front of us right now is a Republican conference in the House of Representatives, where I serve, and also on the Senate side, the Republicans over there, is to get reconciliation through. We've got to preserve and extend these tax cuts from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was passed during the first Trump administration and gave us that great economy that we had, the best economy in 50 years. And otherwise, these tax extenders, if they are not extended, they will make the American people suffer the largest tax increase in the history of the United States of America. You were talking about a recession. Let me tell you something. We'll be in a recession if we don't do our job and extend these tax cuts. We have to do this reconciliation, and this is a way to save time and get around the filibuster rule over in the Senate side. So we're working extremely hard, and quite frankly, I think we're doing a good job. It's tough herding cats, but that's what our speaker is having to do. But I think he's going to do it. He's doing a great job. Also want to unleash our oil and gas, our energy sector. In my district in Southeast Texas, I represent more refining facilities, petrochemical facilities than anybody else in the country. I am the actual epicenter of energy in the United States. We want to unleash the production, the transportation, and the refining of our fossil fuels so that we can have deliver the lowest prices to the American consumer, and also deliver those types of products to our friends, so they are not relying on Venezuela, on Iran, or on Russian dirty and blood-soaked fossil fuels. That's what we got to do. Number two, as I've already said, we've got to restore law and order. The Jocelyn Nungare thing that comes to mind is we're seeing innocent Americans victimized by illegal aliens, and we've seen a couple of terrorist operations as well. I'm glad the FBI is going to be looking into the Philadelphia attack by a Mauritanian Islamic extremist who shot a Jewish synagogue goer. And quite frankly, under the Biden administration is when this occurred, and they covered it all up. But now they're going to have some hearings on it. They're going to be doing an investigation. Let me tell you, bad people came into the United States of America because of the ineptitude of the Biden administration. Quite frankly, I'd say treasonous actions of the Biden administration too. So those are the three issues that we have to have on. I think that I'm very proud to be representing Southeast Texas and the good folks back home.
Last question on the reconciliation.
Sure.
Do you worry about what seems to be a growing, not resistance, but pushback from moderate Republicans about their concerns about deficit, about the spending part of reconciliation? And
oh yeah, we've got them.
Might be cut. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, ma'am. We've got them on both ends. This is, like I said, it's a cat herding operation. Okay, that our leadership under Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise and the rest of them. We have a conference that runs the gamut from the right all the way through moderation and to a little bit left of center, some of them. And when you lose some over here, if you give too much over here, then you drop off on this side. If you give a little bit too much over here, these guys drop off. And so trying to find that happy medium so that we can get the reconciliation through. Listen, I was a football player in junior high and high school, and I'm going to tell you, when you've got control of the ball, you're on offense, and you're sitting on your own 5-yard line. Listen, I'm telling my colleagues, we've got to move that football down the field. We may not balance the whole budget. We may not throw a long bomb and score a touchdown, but we're going to move that football down the field. And so stay with us. We've got to compromise with each other. The Republicans need to get 218 votes. We do not need to go over and start trying to get Democrats on, because the Republicans will not stay on. It's got to be done by the Republicans. The Democrats got us into this horrible situation where we're almost $37 trillion in debt. We're at a cliff. A fiscal crisis could come, and we might not be able to borrow money anymore. We make all of our programs like Social Security, Medicare, and all of this, even our Defense Department, we might not be able to pay the bills. We have to get our fiscal house in order, and that's what this is all about. And I realize we can't balance a budget immediately, but we have to move that football down the field in that direction, and that's why it's so important that we stick together and have 218 Republican votes.
Congressman, thank you for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Great to see you.